Hello and welcome. Today I received a new watercolor palette. I tend to collect special edition watercolor palettes from Schmincke. Let's look at the package first before I open it up. It comes with 9 colors. Like a cadmium yellow hue, cadmium red hue, magenta in the first row, then ultramarine, cyan, brilliant green, light ochre, burnt umber and black. It is a plastic palette, so it's quite interesting, but it's not completely plastic. It has like a metal insert. I don't think I can't remove the metal insert, so I'm like, why is there compartments on the back? I'm pretty sure this is completely plastic because the magnet doesn't work on it except on the ring part. And this metal insert, because it's majority plastic, it's quite lightweight even with 9 colors. Let me okay. I'm gonna put different watercolors in this watercolor palette. And this is my personal palette with the Schmincke Akademie watercolors. I don't tend to use them because I have professional watercolors that I tend to reach for. But look how cool this palette is. It was a limited edition palette like, I think 2 years ago. Like a grungy rainbow palette. So like I said, it comes with cadmium yellow hue, so like a mid-tone yellow. Cadmium red hue, which is a PR255. A magenta PV42. Ultramarine PB29. Cyan PB15:3. Brilliant green PG7, yellow ochre PY42, burnt umber PBR7, and a black PBK6. So I will link the video with swatches of the colors down below. And I'm wondering if full pens will fit in the middle. You can either, I think, put travel brushes in the middle or pencils, I don't know. And I have magnets at the bottom of my full pens. So let's see. So like 5 full pens. So 50 full pens. I'm pretty sure it would fit 30 half pens, which is quite a lot. Let me check. It does say it does stay closed. And it has like, do you hear that? It has a very nice snap. So I quite like it. It doesn't feel too heavy when it's filled with watercolor pens, but it doesn't feel much lighter than a palette like this. No. It might sound weird, but it does feel like good quality plastic. I have another white palette, and that's this one. It was also a limited edition palette. And this one does feel a little heavier. This does look like more of a cool white. There's a bit more blue tinge to it compared to this one, and this is a slightly warmer, but not as obvious as this one being cool white. So yeah, I'm actually quite happy with this palette. I'm not entirely sure what I'm going to use it for. I thought about using it as like sort of my daily driver palette. That I'm wondering if this well will be, oh, satisfying sound. If this well will be stained by a phthalo blue, which is cyan for them. It does beat up, but it does also happen on this palette. I'm going to use the back of this watercolor paper. And after some uses it will just spall up. I think this palette does that now. Oops. Like, she doesn't. This side still beats up, this side doesn't. After a while it stops beating up like this and will just become puddles. I also use these little wells, which are quite handy for like smaller mixes. I don't think it stains right away. It might stain after a while. That's my guess. But that does also happen to white enamel mixing spaces. So what helps is that you have like a dedicated mixing well. Like one is for blue, yellow, red, for example. Let me do that again. I was off screen. So what also tends to help is just washing your watercolor palette before using. I just straight up use my watercolor palettes. So it did get stained. So the phthalo blue did stain my watercolor palette. So the second time using the phthalo blue in this well did sort of stain this well. But that does also happen to white enamel. It's easy to clean off a white enamel palette. But it did stain, just a tiny bit. So this is the Schmincke Akademie watercolor palette, now filled with Roman small watercolors, but the idea is the same. I'm also gonna, oops, the paint was still wet. Every time I paint, I end up with paint on my fingers. So what do you think of this Schmincke Akademie palette? And that's it for this video. I definitely hope to see you in the next video. Until then, bye YouTube.